Okay, so actually, during this season of great games, I could be playing Wolfenstein, I could be playing Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty or Forza, whatever the case may be, even Mario, but instead, I'm playing the Blob. The Blob, not the Blob. The Blob on the Xbox One. It's also coming out on the PS4, which is a Wii game that came out years ago. So here's our review. Nerd Theory. Okay, so the Blob is essentially, the story is that there's this corporation called the Ink Corporation. They're all black, white, and gray, and they're real dull looking, and they're sucking all the color out of this world that you inhabit. It's kind of basically their version of Nazis, if you want to get technical about it. So there's actually quite a few areas within the world map that you go through. Now, with each map, you're basically just coloring the town. I mean, literally, you play as the Blob, and there's like these little robots that contain color that are conveniently there for you. You smash into those, and you turn to the color that they carry: red, yellow, green, blue, and you can even mix and match the colors to become like brown or orange, purple, whatever the case may be. Basically your primary colors. Now, within each of these worlds, there's set objectives that you have to do. You have to get so many points to get to the next area of that world. Having said that, some of the missions that you do is like, hey, color these buildings this certain color, or take out these bad guys, do this, do that. But what's funny is that if you're a trophy hunter or achievement hunter, or whatever the case may be, you will actually get sucked into each world a lot longer than you probably really could. Each world doesn't take that long to get through, but if you're obsessive compulsive like I am with these games and maps, you're going to want to color every single nook and cranny of each area just to make sure that you get these points and whatnot. And it's not hard to get the points. You don't have to do every single thing. You don't have to paint every single detail in the town to move on to the next world. That's just there for you to have fun with. Having said that, I said that most worlds take about an hour if you're trying to get everything. Once again, you don't have to go through that, but the problem with that is that if you're in the middle of a world and you have to go, whether you're going to work or to school, you better try to get through it, because if you stop the game, or if you stop your Xbox or PlayStation 4 and you're only halfway through the world, you're going to lose that progress of that world because it only auto saves after you complete in each particular location on the map, which is really too bad, because that was the downfall of the original Wii version. I wish THQ Nordic, or whoever the developer was that kind of gave this an upres, kind of would have implemented a new autosave feature to make it to where, like, hey, I'm only halfway through this particular level, let me stop and pick up where I left off, but they didn't do that, unfortunately. So play this game if you have some time. There's not too much I can really say about this game that hasn't already been said before. It's a very charming game. It's a very addictive game too, especially if you're trying to get every single thing within these levels. So the actual gameplay actually has been up-res a little bit, so it's more high definition. The Wii in itself, when it came out, didn't care about high def like the Xbox 360 and PS3 did, so it's more standard definition. Now, having said that, they're actually, when you go into the cutscenes, like the beginning cutscene and the ones between the levels, it's still very standard definition. It's very grainy. I kind of wish the development team who was bringing this back would have went back and kind of just gave it a good polish, because it just doesn't look good for today's standards. Not that that should dismay you from playing the game, because the game, in my opinion, actually is quite fun and quite addictive. It's a good family game too. If you own any of these consoles, then it's good to have this game, because, you know, there's Mario, but if you don't have a Switch, there's not a lot of family-friendly games coming out this season, 2017, for the PS4, Xbox One. And the whole family can have fun with this game, not just kids. I had fun with it. One thing I will put out there is that the camera controls on it are a little slow, but you can actually go into the options and change the speed of the camera. That's what I had to do, because at first it just seemed like it took forever to pan the camera over a certain way so you could see what you were doing. Just speed up the camera. That's my suggestion. So after it's all said and done, the Blob is a very fun game, actually more fun than I remembered it being, because I wasn't into the Wii and the motion controls that much. It was a good novelty at the time, and it sold a lot of units, but for the Blob, it just didn't do anything for me. Being able to sit there with a controller in my hand and having fun with the game, and not having to get frustrated with the motion controls, is a big plus for this game. I think it's what this game needed. I think this game should have came out on 360 and the PlayStation 3 at the time, but it just didn't for reasons. And when the Blob 2 came out, I actually enjoyed that a lot, so I've had a lot of fun going back and playing the original game. So having said that, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. But what do you think of the Blob? Did you play it on the Wii? Are you playing it now? Let me know in the comments below. Please like, please share, and all that good stuff. Every little bit helps for the Nerd Theory channel. And keep on being entertained as long as it's legal.